Paul, we'll start with your injury situation. How are you looking today ahead of the weekend?
We're okay. There will be a few lads missing through injuries. Don't think anything too significant, and not certainly taking the game lightly. But we don't. We are missing a few for the game that I would probably expect to be fit for his next league game. So there will be some changes to the team. There probably was going to be anyway. But some decisions have been taken out of my hands on that front because of minor injuries.
Are you able to tell us which players have got these minor injuries?
No, I'm not. I know I'm not going to give Kidderminster the heads up on that one, but obviously I'll divulge that after the game. Said because there will be some changes.
How's Ryan C's arm injury?
He's fine. I think it was a blood vessel that he burst at the time, which resulted in him kind of losing the feeling in his arm and not being able to lift it. He was certainly you could see a swelling just below his elbow, but Monday he was pretty much okay and trained from Tuesday onwards.
And available this weekend?
Yes, yeah, he's available.
Okay. You mentioned to John after the game about Ryan Taylor's hamstring problem. Yeah. Is that something which is historic, or is it something that's cropped up again recently?
No, prior to I can't. Let's forgive me, but going back a few games now, he'd felt his hamstring. I think actually before the FA Cup game, so that was an easy time to leave him out. And it was just a case of him still feeling it. So that was the worry. And last Saturday, certainly, we only knew that he could play a small part of the game. It would have been, I think, too big. It was still an element of risk, in fairness, but reduced risk for the amount of minutes that we could give him, but felt it was worthwhile. You know, as it turned out, you know, we didn't get the result, he didn't get on the score sheet, but he got back out there at least. He's trained this week, and now he's, fingers crossed, touch wood, feeling good.
Would it be a risk though to start him this weekend?
No, I don't think so. Now with the training that he's had, he should be fine.
You thought that John McAtee would be out for about a month. Is that still the case?
Yeah, I believe so. Working hard in the gym, and I think if you bumped into him, he'd rather certainly be out on the grass. But we said it would be hard work. He knows why he's doing the work. But certainly in terms of the timing, to my mind, I haven't been told any different. I think we're on the same schedule.
And are you COVID free now as a club?
Yes, yeah, all good. Again, just keep his fingers crossed, keep seeing that press, and it's not great reading, but around here at the minute we're okay.
Any players coming into contention this weekend that's not been part of your squad recently?
I think there's only probably Joel Grant in terms of he's had a week's training. As I said, this game, I said it a couple of weeks ago, could be one where he might get to be involved. That will probably be the case, but I don't mind kind of saying he won't be certainly starting, but he'll certainly travel with the squad and probably be involved.
How do you feel about having him now back in your thinking?
Well, in fairness, I would say he's not right up there in my thinking, and that's not any criticism or being too harsh on Joel, but I think he'd be 100% the first to admit he's not ready to be considered for a starting berth, and in reality with kind of the rest of the squad where they've been at, you know, it's going to be difficult for him. But again, each sort of training session that goes by, we hope that he stays fit, he gets stronger and gets fitter, because he still shows moments where you can see the quality that he's got and see why he's, you know, had the career that he's had.
How far off is he then being fully match fit? Because he's got a lot of catching up to do by the looks of things, unless I'm wrong there.
Yeah, no, he has. I think off season, you know, he probably wasn't as fit as he could have been, and pre-season he missed the large parts of. So you're almost starting right from scratch, a little bit almost like, I guess, signing a free agent that will have done some work away from a football club, but not the work that's really required. So it will take some time. You know, in terms of games, we're trying to look at getting something organised. We're in the Reserve Cup. that's proving difficult to schedule games. It feels like we're trying to organise a World Cup rather than a couple of games. But I think that's what Joel needs, so that's what we're going to try to look at. And it's not just Joel, there's a couple of players certainly that feel would benefit from games, having not played for a little while, certainly 90 minutes. So we'll see if we can get some of those, and I think that will ultimately determine then whether we can get Joel, to the levels he wants, and get him properly involved.
What's the latest with Sean Scannell?
Scans is back training this week, so again he's joined in training. He'll have a tougher day today. He's not in the squad consideration at this moment in time. Sort of early days of him back, sort of striking the ball and joining in fully, but he's certainly looked okay the last couple of days. Today will be a test for him, and then hopefully that again, similar scenario, build him up, and again if we can get them games sorted, they'll be ones that he'll be involved in.
Any transfer movement in or out?
No, nothing.
Okay. Luke Spokes came back from Boston recently. You said to me, I think when we chatted to you about him last time, that he was attracting some interest from elsewhere. Is that going anywhere?
Yeah, I think there was one club that was interested certainly, but I think their sort of situation changed in requiring a player in a different position more urgently, so that one kind of fell by the wayside. So he's here training with us, as are Jazz Gowandry, Louis Adlard that have been out. They both featured for the youth team last week in a really good win for Neil's side, and at times that's what they'll continue to do. But we've circulated all those players' names again to see if we can get them more minutes to aid their development.
Okay, let's talk about this game then. What's the mindset of everybody coming into this one after last weekend?
Just win the game, get through and be part of the draw again on Monday. I think last time I got the day wrong of the draw. I think I'm right in saying it's Monday evening now, so we'd look forward to that. Maybe one or two will have to stay up slightly late. I think it was 5 to 10. So we'll want to be part of that, Matt, and we feel we've got a good chance of doing that. But at the same time, we're coming up against a team at home that have had some really good wins. I think it's 6, is it, in the table, and we'll be, I'm sure, looking to get promoted back into the National League, where we certainly come up against them on numerous occasions in my previous spell here, when they were one of the teams that were involved in the playoffs and always trying to get promotion to the Football League.
Your approach was very effective at Bromsgrove in the last round. What was the key to such a focused performance?
I think people showing the right attitude individually, but most importantly as a team and as a group, and not underestimating the opposition, and that's been the same message, albeit no disrespect to Bromsgrove, but Kidderminster are at a different outfit. Like I said, they're only a league below and at the top end of it. Certainly got players that have played in the league before, so we know it's going to be a tough test. They'll be full of confidence. They'll be looking to cause what I'd say is a minor upset, but we don't want to be again the victim of that. So, and plus the fact that we've not got the results we wanted in our last 2 games, want to be keen to, as I said before, as soon as you lose a game, you want that winning feeling back in the dressing room, and that's what we're aiming to do. Small
margins, isn't it? But where do you feel you need to be better?
I think last week it was just that final bit, and it was a different game than maybe the Wealdstone one, but there was certainly 2 teams that are expected to be at the top end of the National League. I think it was a high quality game, certainly from our point of view, but we came out the wrong side of the result. As you said, fine margins, but overall I was delighted. Watched it back, we actually had more situations than I thought on the day as well, but as I think I said afterwards, it's just that little bit of quality, maybe that little bit of conviction to change those situations into goals. We didn't work the keeper. I'm not saying that hasn't changed or trying to fool anyone, but it's not always about. It's sometimes just the situation you're in. You know, maybe not in the target, not quite finding that right pass. But like I say, I was really happy with the performance. We were far better than we were, for example, against Eastleigh and Yeovil, which are 2 games that we won. So realising the result is the most important thing, but at the same time, if we can play anywhere close to that level on a consistent basis, then we'll be okay.
You made 7 changes at Bromsgrove. Are you thinking about trying to stay loyal to that group, that team in the main in this game?
What, the one from Bromsgrove?
Yeah.
Or no. It'll be, you know, each game is different as it comes along. As I've said, we've got a couple of lads certainly missing through injury that I'm not saying whether they would have played or not. I hadn't quite set the team out in my mind for definite, but it certainly influenced that decision. I keep kind of say it to people around the place, there's no point me trying to pick a team on the Monday or the Tuesday. Things happen, and you know, a couple of those really were yesterday. So anything I'd got in mind maybe got thrown out the window. But you know, I've got the team in my mind now, and as I said, there will be some changes. But you know, ultimately we're at a football club where realistically, barring a couple, and they're still part of it in terms of the training, everyone's a first team player. So it's not an understrength team. It's not a team that I wouldn't certainly be afraid of putting out in a National League game.